Hi guys, I'm going to be discussing my hometown, Martinsville, Indiana. Who here can identify with the phrase, I'm getting out of this town as soon as I can and never looking back? That's exactly how I felt whenever I graduated high school. However, everything's changed for me. Martinsville may be very small, but it offers rich history, a close community, and plenty of activities for community members to participate in. I'm sure many of you guys have grown up in small towns. I feel like a small town person and small towns in general get a bad rep, and I think it's important to see how amazing small town members can be. I was born and raised in Martinsville. I've lived all over town, including downtown, the historic district, the outskirts, and Bucktown, which is kind of our poor slum area. Um, so, in this speech, I'm first going to discuss some of Martinsville's history and demographics. Then I'm going to discuss the close-knit community of the small town. And lastly, I'm going to discuss the different activities that are available for people. Now that I've given you all a preview, I'm going to begin by talking about Martinsville's demographics and history. First, I'm going to discuss the demographics. Martinsville city limits is only 4.55 square miles, but when you include the rural outskirt area, it totals of 404 squared miles. The population in 2016 was 11,669. There are 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and a high school. And here's a picture of the high school. I don't have access to a printer right now. The mascot of the high school is a well, and not the animal whale, but an actual drinking well, because we are known as the City of Mineral Water. That's a real fun thing to talk about at football games. Now on to some history. Back in the day, Martinsville was a sundown town. This is where Carol Jenkins Davis, the infamous photo, the African American girl who sold encyclopedias, was murdered. Martinsville was also where the infamous John R. Wooden lived and played high school basketball and won state in 1927. Since I've discussed the demographics and history, I'm now going to discuss the community and our sense of community. Small towns like Martinsville provide tight-knit communities, like I said. First off, everyone knows everyone. My 5-minute trip to Walmart to grab a thing of chicken typically turns into a 30-minute trip because I run into people I haven't seen or know me really well and want to catch up. Second, everyone is always willing to lend a hand during times of need. We support every candidate during elections. Even if we don't really agree with them, we still back them, especially whenever you have outside voices from different communities coming in. The community helped me raise $2,000 for my study abroad trip, and they also rallied behind my family after my dad's passing. During his viewing, we had people lined out the doors 2 hours past closing, and we had to fill 2 different rooms during his burial. Now that I've discussed the community closeness, I'm now going to discuss the activities that people can participate in. There are more activities than most people would think. First, we have Jimmy Nash City Park. It has a swimming pool, 2 playgrounds, a basketball and tennis court, a sledding hill, shelter houses that can be rented, walking trails, and a new dog park. Another place that I like to go is Morgan Monroe Forestry. This is a forestry that is shared by Monroe County, which has Bloomington and IU, and Morgan County, which has Martinsville. Here, me and my boyfriend like to take my dog hiking, and we like to go on the bike trails. You can also visit the haunted locations like Draper's Cabin and Black Lady's Grave, which attracts people statewide. Draper's Cabin you can rent out for the night and stay there, and Black Lady's Grave, I feel like most people have heard of this. Like I said, people come from all over the state to come see it. Should definitely look at that and check it out. The last place that I'm going to talk about is Charlie's Drive-In. It's a restaurant that has been around since 1953. It has the best burgers in town, and it's the place to hang out before and after basketball and football games. My friends and I used to go every Friday or Saturday before our home games and eat dinner or lunch there. So now that I've discussed activities available for the locals and for everyone in Indiana, Now I'm going to recap everything that I've already discussed about Martinsville. During this speech, I touched on three main points. The first was the rich history and demographics of Martinsville. The second was the closeness of small town communities, especially in Martinsville. And the last was the different activities available for leisure. Not everyone is a fan of small towns, but I love my small town, even if I didn't back in high school. And I don't think I could live in a large city because I feel like large cities typically lack a sense of community that you get from a small town. So I hope you all enjoyed my speech, and